My friend Phil. Phil has trouble getting out of bed, not because he is sick, like when we were kids, with thermometers, with fevers, mothers providing hot soup and 7 Up. That's a different kind of sick day, different kind of sick week, different sickness altogether. Though, still a sickness, the worst I've ever seen. A modern bubonic brought on by society surpassing our psyches, a cerebral pandemic, our anxiety, my depression. Phil can't get out of bed because he is insignificant. Phil can't get out of bed because we, as humans, were not meant to know we are this insignificant. Because we lost more than the 17-hour work week when we stopped hunting and stopped gathering, more than our sense of purpose when the internet informed us that our tribes are now cultures, are now civilizations, are now global communities, and that somebody somewhere is always playing our part better than us. Lost more than our sense of humanity when we learn we don't have the capacity to care about it all. Not for a populace tipping the scales in the billions. Not for everyone. But I care about Phil. The way he'll put another geometric tattoo on his body and let that beard go unkempt. The way he hacks up phlegm because, well, maybe he is sick. Or just smoking those ciggies, one after the next. I've never smoked more than with him. American Spirits, those baby blues from Chicago to Des Moines on a reading tour. He doesn't like my writing. Half the time, I don't even know if he likes me. That's his appeal. And he better not kill himself. My doctor is concerned that I might kill myself too, but I told her years ago that there are far worse people than me. People like Phil, who is the only worst person I know, though better than me in every way. At least I sleep, I argue. At least I get out of bed. And she didn't put up a fight. I know, she said. You make eye contact. You smile. And I really do. Fully toothed and orthodontic straight, beaming in perhaps my best quality. That's why people are surprised when I tell them I want to die. You seem so happy, they say, these people who have never drank with me. But happiness under a skewed scope is just a day when you don't want to die. Phil smiles too, him and I, smiling and having only kissed the same girl once, to my knowledge, and both regretting it. I lived in a van with his ex girlfriend once too, for months. That's how I met Phil. But she wasn't the girl we both kissed. I still love his ex girlfriend, but not like that. She smiles, but not like that. And this doctor of mine, she wants me to see a therapist. She wants me on meds. She wants me to get professional help. Warning, though, that the pills might cool my creativity. But we'll keep the dosage low, she said, with a wink, playful. To this, I lowered my head, knowing I wouldn't follow up or follow through, not wanting to disrupt the delicate balance in my brain, the homeostasis I've self generated. You see, I'd like to keep having these happy days. Phil took the meds once, didn't like them. That's what he told me on a whale watching tour Valentine's Day. We hardly knew each other then, but I had complimentary tickets per my entry level museum job and had no other person with whom to be stuck on a 4-hour boat tour. Told him it'd be free. We couldn't afford the tickets otherwise, couldn't even afford the beer on the upper deck bar, and sober, there's no way anybody should hang out. Still, booze free, we enjoyed the ride, our captain the source of this shared ridicule. The first person to spot a whale, he'd said, the captain, gets to name it. And boy, we've had some doozies. Just yesterday, someone named a whale Baleen Breath. How funny. All you have to do is yell, "Thar she blows," when you see one. And we scoffed, of course, playful, like brothers. And he better not kill himself. Phil also said the meds made him numb and that even when on them, he still loses weeks on end, week after week after week. Just can't get out of bed, he said. I confessed I never took the meds, but became numb too. somehow, as if our shared emotional Sisyphus, that rock on an incline pushing and pushing and pushing, a weight of worthlessness giving us purpose, and the desire to die, maybe keeping us alive. Our inevitable plight, meds or not, depression, our identity. In mentioning this, Phil brought up Whitman. We contain multitudes, he said. How could we not contradict ourselves? I only thought of Gandhi. Whatever you do will be insignificant, but it's very important that you do it. The last time I felt important, I was helping our museum cytologist move a dead baby gray from the back of a pickup truck parked outside to their third floor lab like a funeral procession. With the whale having beached and decayed on the shore, I ran my hand along the rubbery rotten skin, along the gentle baleen in its mouth, gazed into its gold-pecked eyes. What a thing to experience. What a sickness to feel. Depression, an overwrought empathy turned indifference out of self-defense. I didn't get out of bed the next day. I wonder if my older brother felt important when, in high school, he helped carry a casket containing his dead friend, an actual procession. Me watching from the pews as if a sporting event, learning for the first time that it was real, this ability to self-inflict to a fatal degree. I'd only been running scissors along my forearms up until that point, but then started thinking about knives and firearms in a car left idling in the garage. It's called a suicide cluster when one triggers the next, and the next, and the next. A contagion, like a plague from a graphic novel or a bad M. Night Shyamalan movie. My brother, when reflecting, recalls how his dead dear friend used to look up every word he came across that he didn't know. I do this too, and wonder if it is the first symptom. I think of death every time I get out the dictionary, every time I open a book. Months after the boat tour, Phil gave me some reading material, something having to do with the Great Depression. It was in response to me buying him junk food at a convenience store, a reciprocated kindness, and he scrawled something in the back almost illegible while shirtless and barely out of bed. Tyler, I always found you courageous in your own smart way. Keep doing that. Keep hurling yourself through the darkness. It's worth it. Love, Philip. The book, it sits idle on my shelf, waiting like an unfilled prescription, Zoloft or Prozac or Lexapro, like an empty bottle of bourbon you don't remember drinking, kept as bounty to a pride that you do not take pride in. Because Phil is the Great Depression. Because I am too. And no fucking book is going to define the malady for me, not by reducing my identity to either a severe feeling of despondency or a prolonged recession in an economy. I just don't see the two as mutually as exclusive, not if we are speaking about the economy of spirit. Because we need to eat wilder foods, spend longer moments in the sun, touch each other like lovers, even if we're not. I miss Phil. I haven't seen him in years. But each Valentine's Day, I'm reminded us out in the sun, in community, one whale breaching. It was beautiful. And I cared. The memory of baleen born on my skin, my hands, my heart. I never told anyone, but I cried that day that dead baby gray got carved up in the lab. I cared somehow. About everything. Then another whale breached, right after the first. A bigger splash means a bigger whale, the captain said, Phil and I smiling, scoffing. Keep a lookout, the captain continued. These things come in clusters. And I pray to God for my friend Phil that he never kills himself.